So how do sponsorships work? Let's go into differentiating sports advertisements versus sponsorships. Sponsorships can be a great way to make money outside of the game, but there's so much confusion out there on how that works. Explore what makes sponsorships different from sports advertisement and how it became one of the leading sports marketing tactics of today. Over the recent years, we've seen brands and other businesses spend more money on sponsorships than other strategies like sports advertisements. But what spurred this change, and why should athletes like you care? Hey guys, welcome to Creative. Here we use our passion for the game to change the game. Every week we talk about solutions that can truly change the business of sports. Today we'll be discussing how sponsorships work. Revolutionize the game, and don't forget to tackle that subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss out on anything in the future. Over the recent years, the sporting industry has seen the number of sponsorships increase and increase and increase. Now, they've become an important sector in the industry, raking in billions of spending from various brands and companies across the world. But how did sports sponsorship become the leading marketing strategy in the industry? Especially when advertising is used and is still leading the game. I think we first have to look at knowing the differences between sponsorships and advertisements. There's a lot of misconception around sponsorships and advertisements, with a large majority of the population claiming that they're nearly identical, but in reality, they're not. As an athlete striving to get sponsors, you need to understand the difference between the two and why most brands nowadays would rather spend their money on sponsorships instead of advertising in advertisement, like the old days. By learning the importance of both strategies, you'll be able to leverage your following better and gain more sponsorships in the future. Unlike advertisements, wherein a singular message is used to persuade audiences, sponsorships dig a little bit deeper by creating an ongoing relationship between brands and audiences. Instead of spending thousands of dollars on a single ad with limited airtime, brands would rather sponsor athletes or sports teams and seek their assistance in building relationships with audiences. Now, both strategies are still prominent in the sporting industry. Ads are still all over the place. As a matter of fact, their reach has expanded over the recent years. But despite this, sponsorships are still leading the game. So how did this happen? Sponsorships have slowly creeped up on the sporting industry. Sure, even back then, sponsorships mattered to teams, athletes, and sports organizations. But things have changed. The sector now plays an important role, not just in the success of the industry or the companies that run the game, but in the success of athletes as well. Players of this century were able to extend their reach and influence outside the game, thanks to successful personal branding and a ton of sponsorships. But how did it become so important to everyone? Simple. Consumers have changed. People are now less interested in pursuing buy advertisements. As a matter of fact, several studies over the past years have revealed the negative perception consumers have developed around advertisements. To them, advertisements are companies' selfish attempts at increasing their sales. They don't really care much about them as a consumer. They just want to sell stuff. Over the years, this negative connotation around ads continued, and as a result, brands were becoming less and less happy about using ads. On the other hand, sponsorships were thriving. The perception around sponsorships was better in comparison to ads, and studies have revealed that brands engaging in sponsorships were getting more varied results with the said strategy. They weren't just getting increased sales, they were also improving their brand perception and increasing their brand awareness. Because of all these great results that one strategy can achieve, it made sponsorship so irresistible to brands and other companies. And when it comes down to costs, the possible ROI that brands may get makes it seem worthy of every penny it asks for. And as consumers continue to change, sponsorships became more and more in demand. After a few years, sponsorship became the leading marketing strategy in the sporting industry. Now, athletes and other sports organizations heavily rely on sponsorships for their success. So let's understand how fans view sponsorships. In order for you to leverage your influence to your future sponsors, you need to understand how your fans view sponsorships. Why do sports fans respond better to sponsorships than advertisements? Recent studies have revealed that because of how indirect and subtle most sponsorships are, consumers feel they're less forceful or evasive. And because of this, they don't have the same guards that they use when they see advertisements. They become more susceptible to persuasion. Additionally, consumers tend to warm up to sponsors who support activities that they care about. Not to mention that consumers view brands as better entities when they immediately tell them that an ad is being sponsored by them. Now, due to the positive perception that consumers have around sponsorships, it creates a positive attitude towards the brands they associate with the sponsorship. Let's use this theory into an actual scenario. Let's say during your incoming game, a local sportswear brand has decided to sponsor your gear. And in return, you go online and thank them for the assistance they've given you. You ask your fans to give them a follow as thanks for their support, and because of the positive impression the sponsor has already left to your fans, the more likely they're going to check out that said sponsor. Understanding how your fans can perceive future sponsorships gives you a better idea on what angle you can tackle for your marketing strategy. How can you frame your relationship with your sponsor so that your fans perceive it positively? How can you make sure that your fans don't feel attacked or evaded by your sponsored posts? And by knowing how to tackle and frame your posts, you've invited more sponsors to your door. See, nowadays, it's not enough for athletes to just have a large following. They need to know how to connect fans and soft sell products or brands to said fans. You want to differentiate yourself from other athletes by showing how well you know your fans and how they perceive sponsorships. Give them an idea of how you can use your following and your knowledge of your fans to help them reach their goals. By doing so, you're showing them just how much you care about building and maintaining relationships with them. And companies love to sponsor athletes who care about their goals as much as they care about theirs. So, going into the mind of the fans, how do they view their ads? Admittedly, the sports industry still spends billions of money on advertisements, but in an old platform like TV or on new platforms like the internet, yet despite this, advertisement agencies are faced with the awful reality of their target audience hating ads, so much that they're investing in services that help them avoid them. Recent studies have revealed how they hate the feeling of being followed. That often comes from retargeting ads. Ultimately, ads have left such a distasteful taste to sports fans that their perceptions of ads have become inherently negative. And because of how elusive fans have become, the sporting industry is spending more on marketing efforts to reach out to them. As a result, the cost of marketing is going up. So instead of breaking the bank for a couple of marketing efforts, companies are searching for new ways to achieve several goals all at once. Now, how does a sponsorship solve the ongoing advertisement debacle that the sporting industry is going through? Let's dive in a little bit on how sponsorships work. Sponsorships take advantage of well-built relationships with already made fan bases. Instead of blatantly introducing a brand or a company unknown to skeptical fans, they take familiar faces that they already trust to introduce the company to them. Sponsorships leverage that trust, the credibility, and recognition to improve brand awareness, increase sales, and achieve other similar goals. Sports fans love to support companies that care about their favorite hobbies or favorite teams. And whenever they see a company supporting them, the fondness they already have for the sport or the athlete is somehow transferred to their perception of the company. Through the help of well-known and well-loved athletes, companies are able to better position themselves in the mind of said fan base. And because of the contribution it creates on the sponsor's brand equity, sponsorships allow them to achieve more goals than advertisements. For example, by working with an athlete that has a loyal fan base, they're increasing brand awareness and improving sales for their existing fan base, who's also the athlete's fan base, at the same time. Sponsorships use shared interests to catch the attention of their target audience, allowing them to build stronger relationships with sports fans. And unlike advertising, wherein the campaign is run for a limited time only, sponsorships are continuous. They build brand equity that creates more lasting results than advertisements. Furthermore, it helps contribute to brand equity, another important foundation to successful businesses. Ultimately, sponsorships are fruitful partnerships that, if taken well care of, result in lasting business relationships. If you want to learn more about sponsorships and how they help athletes like you perceive outside the game, check out the rest of our videos on sponsorships. We hope you guys loved today's video, and if you want to learn more about the great solutions that can truly change the game, don't forget to tackle that subscribe button and give us a like. Now, this is Zach with Creative, where business is our sport.